So the issue management, how do you think the importance of the issue management in the organizations?
Yeah, so when I think about my experience working with different institutions, I think the reporting and issue management around CCAR or BCBS is probably one of the largest pain points for many institutions. So much of that reporting and those processes are done manually. It's a lot of Excel, it's an email, it's a lot of PowerPoints. For many institutions, when there's going to be a regulatory exam, it kicks off a multi-week process of collating the evidence and support that they're going to present to the regulator. And they pull together a presentation, but then as soon as the regulator has a question, it's hard to go find the detail where they got that from to be able to respond to it. And I think it raises, it can raise credibility issues with the regulator. It's definitely time consuming, it's definitely not efficient. And so I think having a way of automating that reporting and having issue management built into the process flow is really critical and can be a real time saver. The way I see us being able to use Collibra around CCAR is having a CCAR reporting dashboard. So here are the data elements in scope for CCAR, here's the data governance I have in place around those, here are my gaps, self-disclose to the regulator, here are the issues I know about, but here's what I'm doing about them. Because I think one of the, definitely where we see MRAs arriving and even MRIAs is where data or issues are not self-disclosed to the regulator, or even the bank wasn't aware of the issues and then the regulator finds them. You want to try and avoid being in that situation, obviously, but the combination of the tools that you use for Fed checks with Collibra means that you can collate that information quickly and present it back to the regulator and self-disclose, but self-disclose with a plan of how you're going to remediate.
So do you see those capabilities are asked by the clients?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And when you do a POC and so on, if you see how it happens now, where you a dedicated team, separate typically from data quality, but busy with data issues, gets like daily an Excel or a CSV, command limited file, where they then link the business terms to, or the critical data elements, and mails that on and so on. I mean, it's very clear that there's a huge capability gap there, very, very clear.
So do you put those capabilities in your proof of values and pilots to show the clients the capabilities of Collibra then?
Absolutely, because I think that's one of the key drivers, besides having the lineage, the ownership, and the data quality around it, is that having them that ability to solve problems and review and remediate those issues in an automated fashion. And I think that Collibra is one of the few tools that really does have that right out of the box. So when you are looking at smaller organizations, it's something that they can easily manage and adopt with Collibra and not have to go out and buy 15 tools to put on top of something to make a workflow around issue management.
And often it's looking at the requirements that an organization has for issue remediation and us pushing back to say, why don't you use the out-of-the-box stuff, which is a best practice, and often that is enough, which is of course good because that means there's no custom development and so on.
So do you see anyone asking to see the MRAs and MRIs captured and tracked in Collibra?
Yeah, that's another key, and I think another value that we have within Collibra, because if you really think about it, MRAs and MRIAs are issues, right? So, having those tracked within Collibra, creating issues for the different MRAs that an organization is getting, and then associating to them the pain points. Is it the business lines that have a pain point, data elements that have the pain point, the specific report, as well as branching out even further to remediation plans for those specific MRIAs or MRAs as well, so that they can track, am I resolving my problems? So when the Fed does come back in, yes, I had this problem, here's where I am right now in solving it, and here's where I plan to be, a month, 2 months, 6 months down the road.
So one of the MRAs and all this tracking these things, so you can link all these assets with what you have in Collibra.
Correct.
So do you see those people asking for the end-to-end picture and seeing the impact analysis on what happens with this issue?
I think that I see a lot of times when you do go into a client is they really hone in on just the initial piece of it, of looking at the CCAR report and understanding lineage and ownership, the very key basic principles. But when we do demonstrate the product, or we do POCs with the product, we do start to branch out and show them that ability to track MRAs, attestation on reports, all of those other key features around submitting a regulatory report. It really opens their eyes to the value that a tool will bring and how it does enable that and to automate that full process that's very manual right now.